Okay, it's the Blackworm Breeder Box Method Food Trial weigh-in time. There's definitely some changes going on that I'm going to get into. I haven't done that many updates this week. I've been working on a few projects, one of them being an automatic fill line for my tanks. I've tried this a couple ways before and they always seem to clog or just stop working. I have them connected with just push connects and regular air hose. I'm using different nozzles this time, and if this doesn't work, I'm doing a whole manifold in my other fish room. But let's get right into the update. This is system number 1. This is the one that has been getting fed the Carnivore sinking pellets by Hikari. You can see it's still exploding. This whole thing is packed. Really, it's got way too many worms in it for the system to even hold. If I was to do this trial over the same exact way, I would greatly increase the amount of mulm that I began with and am incorporating in weekly. So this is the exact food that the system is being fed, and I went ahead and calculated an estimated carbon to nitrogen ratio. This food stands out because it has the highest nitrogen out of all of the foods being fed. Now here are the latest numbers, including the weight since last weigh-in, which was last week. If you notice, the worms lost over a gram, even though the tank looks completely full. I'm not exactly sure if the worms have hit their max for the container they're in, or if the worms may be entering into their regeneration state. We saw explosive growth in the system from the very beginning. So it's very possible it's just not enough room for any more worms. You can only keep so many worms in a container unless you have the proper support for them. That's either adding in additional mulm or giving them something to live on. You see, they're in the sponge, they're underneath the little pieces of leaves. They need to anchor themselves in something. They can lose weight from not being at rest. So let's move on to system number 2. System number 2, we've been seeing steady growth. It is not completely packed yet. All the worms seem to be fairly settled and not roaming. This system is being fed the Bug Bites tropical formula. It has a slightly lower nitrogen to carbon ratio. Now here are the latest numbers. And you can see this system even lost a little bit of weight also, even though the container is not fully packed. Could this system also be getting ready for segmentation? Now on to system number 3. This one has been getting fed the Bug Bites cichlid formula, and it is starting to get pretty packed also. There is a lot more roaming around and flailing than there was previous weeks. So this system looks like it may be coming to the max also. If this had triple the amount of mulm on the bottom, that will 100% increase the amount of worms you can keep in a box. This system has been one of the most stable, and the ratio for carbon to nitrogen is almost the same as the last. So since the numbers are identical to the tropical formula, but this system acted different, that tells us something. It's not just what the numbers look like, it's how it breaks down in the system. So here are the latest numbers for this system. And you can see this system actually gained a little bit of weight. So it's still on the rise. It's not fully packed yet. Or this system may not be ready yet for segmentation, but there is an obvious difference. Now we'll move on to system number 4. This one was the one that kind of surprised me the most. You can see it's starting to look pretty packed in there. And this one was being fed the Bug Bites bottom feeder. And you can see for yourself that the worms look great and healthy, and they're pretty much completely settled. Now the carbon to nitrogen ratio that we're looking for the Bug Bites is a lot different than the other ones. This has the highest carbon out of the other foods that we've been feeding. Carbon feeds the microbes much slower than nitrogen feeds the microbes. And here are the latest numbers for the Bug Bite system. You can see even this system lost a little bit of weight. So we're seeing weight loss in majority of our systems. So something has changed. I went over a couple videos ago that they do have a pattern that they go through different phases for regeneration. They will segment themselves. Could this be proof that they're redirecting energy for upcoming segmentation? It definitely could be possible. Next up is System 5. This is the homemade food that I have been making. It's really not ready yet. I still have some tweaking to do with this, especially how I'm going to serve it. Here are the current numbers for that system. And you can see even that system lost a little bit of weight. So if all the systems are losing weight except one, that points in the same direction. We just have to figure out exactly what that means. Here's exactly how you can calculate your own food for carbon to nitrogen ratio if you're wondering what your food is like that you're feeding your blackworms, it's just going to be an estimate. It's not going to be lab quality, but you will get the point on where your food is taking your blackworm culture. By having two foods with the exact same numbers, we also see that it depends on how that protein breaks down in the system, because some protein breaks down way faster than other protein. That protein will get eaten by the microbes and get turned into waste before the blackworms can actually use it. So that plays a huge part. What breaks down faster in the system? There's tons more to learn and figure out about blackworms. For the most part, you can keep a culture going for as long as you need. But when it comes to fastest regeneration and what's the best thing to feed your blackworms for that fast regeneration, that's what we're trying to figure out now. So stay tuned. There's plenty more experiments coming up and some exciting news right around the corner.